Thank you so much for jumping on the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
It was your idea. I woke up to a DM and you were like, "Oi, get me on the pod," and
Yep.
we made it happen.
It's how we got to do it around here.
That's it. That's it. I said to Paige, I showed her the DM, and I was like, I mean, I can't say no to Pete. He's asking for it. We got to do it.
Just forcing my way onto any podcast I can.
Yeah, brother, I understand. Thank you again for coming on the show. We got lots to chat about. I guess I want to say at the very top, the new record is unreal. It's so good. And I'm excited to chat to you about it. How are you feeling? Are you nervous? Are you apprehensive? Are you just kind of old hat at this? You're just like, yeah, let's get it out. Let's play it.
Nah, dude. Well, firstly, thanks. It's it's just been a lot of work. Let's put it that way. And
Yep.
I feel like I'm in this period of time where it's all been done for so long. I just want it out, and I don't have it's weird, but the word probably is closure.
Mm-hmm.
I want other people to hear it, and it's just the way it's sort of gone and how the recording sort of went, but it's taken longer than I guess anticipated, but also it's just takes as long as it takes sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you said what you did. I've said this 100 times, but when an older band does a new record, not all the time is it that good. And that's a mean thing to say. And I'm not going to mention the bands, but for us, for some reason, well, I know the reason, it's basically a man called Elliot.
Yes.
I really think he had such a huge part in it because we've made an album that is far and away the best thing we've ever done by a mile. And usually that's not usually how it goes, obviously.
You're gone when I'm here. I've never felt a pain like this. Life is life. I've got to find room to peace.
I mean, I remember when Survival came out, and I remember seeing you guys on tour back then, and that's a great record, and you guys were everywhere playing those songs, jumping on tours, but it's been almost, 18 years since that record came out, and the new one just smokes it. It's insane. It's the best stuff you guys have ever done. It's unreal.
Yeah, I love that you're saying that because that's how I feel, but I feel like a dickhead saying it, but obviously it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
Look at Iron Mind. They've just done their best record.
100%.
The new 50 Lines stuff that's coming smokes anything they ever did by a mile,
Yeah.
And so it should. We've all been doing this for so long. Obviously, everyone's got better at playing, but what I think it is everyone's got better at knowing what you're doing. When you're young, you just do a band, you're like, fucking yeah, that's great. That's what hardcore is, right? That's what expression is. You express whatever you're feeling,
Yeah.
But obviously, as you get older, you should be getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, though, that's not obviously the case, though. For a lot of amazing bands who I'm not going to name, some of their first 3 records are the best things you've ever heard. And then they put out one now and you're like, how do you even come up with that? It's dog shit.
Yeah.
You've already laid the blueprint. Now just get better at that. And I think that's what we did. And like I said, too, with the help of Elliot and obviously the guys in our band, too, I want to stress this. It's not like we had fucking 18 years off music. Those guys have been in Sumeru since No Apologies broke up. And this is me blowing smoke up their ass because I'm not involved. There's not better musicians than them in heavy music. They can hold their own with anyone, dude. Pete and Andreas, Chris and Pat, apparently I'm not that good, but Pat, our bass player, the guys in our band say that Pat's the best musician in our band, the bass player.
Yeah.
He's a fucking freak. He could play drums or guitar. Put that into the equation as well as me pushing. I also have a very different way of doing things. I pretty much gave Pete the plan, I said, this is what, and he writes to that, so it's very strategic for sure,
Yeah. I think like one element that I kind of want to chat to you about because like I've been going to hardcore shows for like 20 years, and you're older than me. You've been going to shows and playing in bands even longer. But like this particular moment that we're in seems to be like the most energetic, hungry, enthusiastic point that I've personally witnessed in hardcore at the moment. And I think it's a testament to bands that you've mentioned, like Iron Mind and yourselves, that are choosing to come back at this time, drop
Mm,
incredible records because the kids want it. The kids
mm.
demand it. So, like, what do you think it is about this moment? Like, why is it so different?
It's really hard. Like, obviously, COVID fucked shit up and people didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
But I would say 90% of people at shows were too young during COVID. Like,
Yes.
it's such a young crowd. Speed, for sure,
Yeah.
is a huge factor.
Yeah.
What they've done is insane. Like, never to be done. Like, what Parkway did was kind of similar, except Parkway sort of got popular and then just went overseas. And well, Speed are doing the same thing. Actually, no, Parkway used to take hardcore bands on tour the same way. So
They did.
it's very similar.
A little band called No Apologies, if I'm
Yeah,
not
exactly,
mistaken.
exactly. It doesn't make any sense, but like you've been around, you know how it goes. It comes and goes. But I agree with you. This period right now, I think, is the best we've ever had. So bigger than the mid 2000s. Not bigger, better. I think way better bands for
Yeah.
sure. Shows everywhere seem to be like going great, you know. So
I think what really strikes me about this moment that we're in is that it is on like a national level, obviously doing super well, and we're getting a lot of international bands touring here to kind of keep things healthy. But at a regional level, like city to city, like there's all of these young bands forming little collectives. Like I'm thinking about like the Burning Hammer crew in Brisbane,
yeah,
what Maddo's been doing with Last Ride for the last like decade.
yeah,
Here in Melbourne, you've got Kingpin and all those guys. Like every city is really kind of like putting it on for their own bands, for their own
yeah,
scene, which is like feeding into the touring bands and the bigger, more national stuff. And I
yeah,
mean, I looked at the lineups that you released for the album tour that you've got coming up in September and October, and you've got a lot of these up and coming young bands on the bill, and so many of them are in the comments like, fuck yeah, this is sick, so stoked to
mm,
be able to play with you. So like, is that important for you to kind of like put all of
dude.
these bands on the bill?
It's what it's all about. Like you mentioned them, but what about also like Nambour and
Hmm.
Adelaide,
Yes.
Canberra, you know, Marat and those guys? Like they look. I'm in my 40s, man. My my contribution now is going to be limited. Like this album is my contribution. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And then my band being able to do as much as we can. All the shows we ever play, all the supports are going to be the local bands and young coming up. I'm not interested in playing, no offense, like with bands like us because we've done that, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure we will. We're playing with 50 Lines here in Adelaide just because it made sense
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But it's generally everyone knows me and knows also my dislike for like reunions and all that bullshit. I'm always, it's going to be, until we get on stage, it's going to be a local hardcore show of young kids, you know, that would have already been there, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Hardcore is a youth movement, and I'm not the youth anymore, so I just try to keep them around. You know what I mean?
Just got to blame the cause that I bring down. It is what it is. Don't worry about me. Life goes on. It's not the end of the world. I just hope that I'm not being a pain.
I feel that the same. Like, I'm turning 37. I'm certainly not a young fucking spin kicker anymore, but I still like to try and keep my ear to the ground and kind of see what's up because I think that's
Mm,
super important to me. And it's just
yeah.
genuinely exciting. But I think we should turn now and talk about this idea of legacy because that's a big theme running through this new record. So we'll shout that out. The new record, Life, is out on August 29th. And I think I'll put this up just before the album drops, but
Okay.
I'll have links in the description for people to pre-order it, stream it, go to shows, all that shit. But talk to me about the, I guess, like, core theme of the new record. I feel like the title is fairly indicative of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Life.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say legacy too, because someone asked me, like, oh, why do you still do it or something? And as weird as this sounds, I have sort of in the last few years sort of, I guess, had to sort of contemplate my own mortality a bit more and
Hmm.
really come to the realization, like, dude, we're all here for such a short time, but
Yeah.
everything you do while you're here stays after you've gone, you know what I mean? So that was a huge part in making this record that, yeah, whatever, we did Survival and that was great, blah, blah, blah. But Pete and I have always talked about doing another record, and
Hmm.
it all started with Back on the Map, doing a show basically. When we were asked to
Yep.
do that, I just said, no, oh, no, thanks, thanks for thinking of us, blah, 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 like I've said before.
Is that, just to kind of interject,
Mm,
is that because of kind of what you mentioned before about like the
yeah,
idea of being like a reunion band? You were like,
dude.
"Oh, I don't want any part in that."
100%. And
Okay.
I really never did. Like, I loved that people used to say, fuck, Survival was sick. I'd be like, thanks, man. But that was then, like your
Yeah.
band's sick now,
Yeah,
The,
for
the only
sure.
thing that changed was that when they contacted us, like Joel, Candace, and the Speed guys, like they were a bit more aggressive, maybe. Like at first I said no, like thanks heaps, but nah, man. Like, and then they were like, why not? Like, this is going to be the time. Like factory theatre, no barrier. Everyone wants to see it. And then Pete's main thing was like, if not now, it won't happen because he's moved out of Sydney and he's having kids and I've got kids
Yeah.
and it all sort of just came together. That's why I had Jem sing with us on the record, because if
Mm,
it wasn't for Speed and their friendship group, who we now are all like really tight with all of them, when it's funny, I only really knew a few of those guys like leading up to 2022. Now it's just like this huge friendship group, which is fucking
that's
mad.
sick.
And they're all such legends, man. Like everything they do. I was also conscious of like, oh, we're coming back because Speed have fucking made hardcore good again. It's like, that's not the case, but it's definitely because of them for sure.
Yeah. And I think it is such a sick kind of full circle moment to kind of have Gem on the record kind of at the very end. And I saw the clip for Grief got posted like earlier this week, and I saw some of the social posts for it, and I saw Jem kind of like shout it out, and he was like, "I wouldn't be who I am and where I am without no apologies." So
Mm,
I was like, that must make you feel like nice and warm and fuzzy, right? To be able to kind
dude,
of like have that circle moment.
you should have seen at the Brisbane show and the Sydney show we did with them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if something went wrong, so we had to kill some time in Sydney. But I
Okay.
was I was up at the sound desk with Elliot and Candace was doing lights, so we're all kind of up there hanging. Um, and Chaz was there. It was funny because like all the people who were there when we made our record, and I was there. It was a weird thing anyway. So they got a break, and Jem could see me because they turned the lights on in between songs. Well, the lights were on the whole fucking time actually.
Yeah.
But he did like this 10-minute speech about when he first met me and how if he hadn't have met me, the band wouldn't exist and this show wouldn't have happened. And it just went on and kept going. And dude, I was like literally had tears in my eyes. I was like, this is insane. But then the next day, him and Elliot wrote to me and I don't know if I should actually even say this, but
Nah,
they're
fuck
like,
it. Say it.
do you realize that if you hadn't talked to us that night, because I distinctly remember my wife and I used to do merch for when we played at the Manning Bar.
Okay.
And I'd just sit there all day, hang out with everyone, and talk to anyone. And I distinctly remember them. It was Jem and Elliot, two of the youngest looking kids. And obviously, Jem's a young Asian kid, which I want to stress, Sydney hardcore was always really multicultural. There was Age of Distrust were 3 or 5 Asian dudes in the band. The other two were like Greek or Serbian. So you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It wasn't that out of place for an Asian kid to be at a show, but I think he thought, fuck, this guy's like actually taking the time to talk to me. And like, anyway, they sent me a text the next day and they go, do you realize you hadn't spoken to us that day, we potentially wouldn't have been that interested, started a band, and then that leads on to Speed, and then the way. But Elliot was like, "You're the reason Australian hardcore's popping off again." I'm like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, Speed's the reason why Australian hardcore's fucking huge, and they're huge. They've done it all themselves.
Yeah. I just think that's so sick that it can feed into itself in all of these like crazy ways. And, like we had Jem on the show like a couple of years ago now. He was like one of our first guests, but like his enthusiasm and his love for hardcore like comes through anytime you chat with him. So
Yeah.
like I know how buzzed he would have been to be asked to be on the record and then to like be able to have that moment for himself. So I just think that's fucking dope.
And everything, just quickly, everything you see with those guys too, like I know because I've answered the questions of Americans or Europeans asking me if it's legit. I'm like, it is 100%. Like people think because of how like happy and positive he is that it's all, because no one believes that,
It's
But
crazy.
I'm like, dude, that's them, and they deserve every fucking thing. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. You spend 30 seconds with Jem and you're like, that's the fucking best guy I've ever met in my life.
It's and that's a testament to obviously his father and his mother. Like great people themselves. I haven't met I think I did meet his dad, but like
his dad seems sick.
Yeah, like that. You don't have someone like that without. It's amazing.
Yeah. Speaking of fatherhood, I believe that's another pertinent theme on life, or at least from what I got on the record.
Yeah.
Talk to me about some of the things that happened in your life that you have projected into this record. Because like you said, it's a different tone and a different kind of lyrical record than what was going on with Survival.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So this is basically a reaction to how the situation I was in when my father passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So the first side's actually from his perspective. So the lyrics are a lot of things that he said to me in time, like leading up to him passing away. Right. And then the second half, sort of like me dealing with it. It's not something that I would never have thought that I would have done something like that leading up to writing a new record. Like,
sure.
So it sort of just organically happened. And even when I first showed Pete, he was just like, this is fucking insane. Like, this is, and like, it doesn't sound like it makes any sense, like, because it's quite personal. But I think I've done it in a way where people should be able to relate,
I mean, I certainly did. I'm about to be a dad myself.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
I'm kind of reflecting on the same. Thank you, mate. I'm reflecting on the same kind of things myself, because how can you not when you're about to like bring a human being into the world? So yeah, I definitely got a lot out of the record. Apart from it just being super fun to listen to, like there's a lot of depth going on there. There's a lot of real shit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? So I get it. Not every person's going to read the lyrics, but I know that the guys have got the music sorted. So that gives me my time to, because that's another thing. Like for me in my 40s, I can't write a record about how tough I am, or you know what I mean? I've got to write a record with a bit more substance, and that's not to put anyone down or anything down, but that's just me personally.
No, it's just very authentic and very genuine, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
If you're a very hard dude in your 40s, like that's genuine for you. But like you can't force that shit. It's very transparent.
Yeah, and like there's 50 bands that you can listen to if that's if you're looking for. Just put Hatebreed on,
Yeah, exactly.
Or 100 Demons, actually.
Yeah.
This got a hold on me, holding me down. It won't let me be free. For my brain is taking through everything. Keep my broken soul.
I want to kind of wrap things up a little bit now and kind of talk about the tour. So you're hitting a bunch of the main spots, but also a couple of little low-key spots. I see there's a Wollongong show in there.
Yeah.
And then there's a spot in South Australia that I'm not familiar with. Is it Port
Noarlunga?
Okay. Tell me about that. You've made an effort to put that on the tour.
Yeah, for sure. So Port Noarlunga is basically like the Wollongong of Adelaide, you know? Like
Okay.
it's down the coast. People live there. It's a beautiful spot, but it's not generally where hardcore shows happen.
Okay.
But it's funny, like, so Fitzy from Radio, if you know of that dude, he's like
Yeah.
one of my mates down here, and he's involved with the football club, and he does a festival down here that's quite big actually now. It's getting crazy. And one of my other bands played it, but basically I was just thinking like I've got to fly my dudes down here. I'd rather do a couple shows, you know, and then
For sure.
so I train in that area. I surf in that area. I don't
Right.
live down there, but I'm down there pretty much every day. Most of my mates live down there. It just makes sense. Like, and it's just going to be a fun show, you know, like something a bit different. It's just at the footy club, like on the floor. I've got to bring it's turned into a lot of work, I must say, but I've got to bring everything in. I'll be doing the door. I'll be fucking the guy kicking people out if anyone's been, you know what I mean?
Yeah, hell
It's
yeah.
all on me.
Real DIY.
Dude, it's as DIY as it gets, this one.
How are you feeling otherwise about, doing the album tour,
Yeah.
playing the songs from the new record? I'm sure you must
Yeah.
be itching to just kind of like
Dude.
have a real new set
Yeah.
to run through.
Can't wait firstly for it to be out, can't wait. And then we've specifically didn't put like the shows on the next week, you know, we've given it some time.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. We're not going to Brisbane, we're not going to Perth, we're not going to Tassie. But the plan, I hope, is that this record gets out and then people fucking want us to play, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But so hopefully we've given it some time for these songs to sort of marinate and sink in. And then, we're going to be playing a heap of new ones. We're going to try to add a little bit of different stuff like we always do, you know, like I just get a lot of different ideas from different places. Like I went to a theatre show the other night and my wife's a dancer and so
Okay.
I see a bunch of different shows. And
You got some moves for us, Pete? Are you going to be busting some shapes? What's going on?
No shapes, but just like when you think about a hardcore show, usually it's a black stage with fucking nothing. Like there's space to make it your own, you know. And
Yeah.
a lot of people don't have the time or money, and I'm with you there, but I'm just sort of thinking about those spaces as well, you know.
No, that's cool. I like that idea. And then my final question, I would be remiss in not asking you, are we ever going to get another run of 5 questions? Is that coming back?
Dude, when Jed is our merch guy, right?
Yes.
So every show, if anyone sees us together, it's the only thing they say to us. But no, I don't think he's not keen to do it. And he basically did it, the whole thing. So
Yeah.
I was the one that drove it all, but he was the one that put it all together. And like I told you, I'm pretty shit with technology. Plus, I don't have heaps of free time, really. So
I don't know if you're much of a podcast listener yourself, but I always appreciate when like you can tell that like the scrappiness of the podcast is like half of the appeal. And
Dude.
as a regular listener to 5 questions, like that was always my thing. It was like, what will fuck up for these two
dude.
today? How kind of DIY, I guess, is the pod going to be this week?
It was a hardcore podcast, so it was exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Some of them were so fucked, though, like my voice cutting out, and I think
it's technology, man. It always happens.
Yeah, but with tech, look how easy this is. Like, surely we could have done this, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
It definitely is what it is. And look, it's a joke and we fuck around, but we actually did some. Well, I want to say we did some really important stuff. Like I think I did like a Mind Snare and a Parkway episode where not many people would have probably got some of that info. It's a bit of a bummer because I think Spotify's deleted most of it, to be honest.
Yeah, Spotify's being real shitty with it, and I'm kind of glad that we made the jump to doing video and YouTube stuff because like we were just only putting stuff out through Spotify, and like fuck them, they kind of suck.
It seems like if I post a song of my band and then they delete it because I didn't give them permission, like what do you mean? No one asked me. If it's on Spotify already, why does it matter if the song gets played? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
anyway.
I don't know. They're stupid. But look, we're going to wrap things up here so it's a nice quick edit and turnaround for me. But
yes.
Pete, thank you so much for coming on the show. I will have all the info for people to check out live down in the description. But man, thanks again for doing this. This was dope.
Easy, mate. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Owen popping in to say, please sign up for the TPD Patreon. This is what helps us keep the lights on and keep the show going. The link is at the bottom of your screen right now, patreon.com/tpdpod. All of our patrons get exclusive access to Side B of our roundup episodes, so you get a few extra tracks, as well as our feature album discussion and the full show experience. Patrons also get exclusive access to behind-the-scenes, off-the-cuff chit-chat from all of our guest episodes. But the patrons are the ones who make all of this happen. For as little as $5 a month, you can sign up to the TPD Patreon, and it really helps us out, really helps us keep the show going. So shout out to all of our patrons, shout out to our executive producer patrons, you're the real ones, and yeah, thank you so much for watching the show.